Hey guys, welcome back to Cryptic Code. So it's been 6 months since I uploaded anything, but I'm back. We're going to be continuing the Python with Beginner series. If you haven't watched the first couple of videos in that, I'll leave a link to that playlist down in the description. So let's get into it. Last lesson, we learned about if statements and lists. So today, we're going to be learning how to repeat your code in Python using loops. There are a number of types of loops in Python, but two we're going to go over today are while loops and for loops. We'll also learn how to use lists with a for loop. So let's learn about a while loop. A while loop has a pretty simple syntax really. It's while and a statement that's either true or false, just like an if statement. For example, if it's false equal to 5, this is always true. So if we try and print hello with this, guess what's going to happen? If you guessed that it's going to just repeat this forever, you were right. We don't really like these endless loops in programming, so generally try not to do this. A way we could end the loop like this, however, is have a break statement. A break ends the loop, it's immediately running. So if we do this, it's going to print hello once and then just stop. But we'd want it to stop using this condition, so let's just ignore the break statement for now. How would we use a while loop with a variable? So let's say we had a variable 1, and set it to equal to 0. Now, in the while loop, if we make sure 5 is greater than variable 1 and run this, it's going to run it, right? However, zeros are always going to be less than 5, so this is just as bad as our previous one. But what if we increase the value of variable 1 in the code, right? So every single time this runs the loop, variable 1 increases its value by 1. This means the loop will only run 5 times because in 5 repetitions of this loop, variable 1 would be equal to 5, ending the loop. Let's test that. So if we run this code, it prints hello exactly 5 times. In essence, that's really what you need to know about while loops. Let's move on to for loops. A for loop syntax is nearly as simple as while loops, but not quite. So for for loop, we have the keyword for followed by a variable name, and this could be anything you want. So I'm just going to say x, then you have an in, and here you put something that's iterable. So iterable statements are like a list, right? Let's just create a list, new list, and set it to have cryptic and code in there, right? This list has 2 items, and if you remember from last time, cryptic has an index of 0 and code has an index of 1. So we can actually loop over this. So let's say for x in new list, right? Print x. What do you think this is going to do? Well, if we run this, ignoring the hellos, because that's from our previous example, it prints cryptic and code. So what's happening here? For every time we run this loop, x is equal to the next item in this. So the first time we run it, x is equal to cryptic, so it prints cryptic. The second time we run it, x is equal to code, so it prints code. This could work for a list with any number of items. Let's add is and great to this and run it. Cryptic code is great, is all printed because it loops over the whole list. So that's basically how for loops work. I just realized I put lists with for loops here, but I ended up doing it here. So I'm going to change this to for loops using range. So you know how we have built-in functions in Python, such as print and import? Range is another one commonly used in for loops, right? So I'm going to comment out all this code. Commenting, you basically use a hashtag to make Python ignore that code, so not run it. You can use to provide developer instructions such as print hello. You could leave a comment after it saying print hello, right? This does not affect the code, it just doesn't run it. So now I'm going to show you how we can use the range statement in a for loop. So for x in range 0, 5, right? So think of this as creating a new list with values between 0 and 5. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? So let's just prove this to you. We can print x and then run it. it prints 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. My mistake, it doesn't do 0, 2, 5, it does 0, 2, 1 before the final number, right? I'm pretty sure you can also just put a number 7 and it'll start from 0 and go all the way up to 6, looping it 7 times. So you can use it to control the for loop and loop it a certain amount of times. So if you wanted a loop to print hello 10 times, let's say, you can just do for x in range 10, print hello. And it just prints 10 hellos. So there you have it. You now know how to use while loops, for loops with lists, and for loops using the range statement. I hope you enjoyed the video and learned something from it. If you have any questions, be free to leave them in the comments. I'll answer them to the best of my ability. As always, like the video if you learned something, and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.